Hey folks, Onisaurus here, and I've got a little bit of something special cooking up that I've been working on for some time. There's hopefully going to be more videos like this. It's the first in a series that I like to call Streams and Dreams, where I will interview small streamers that I can find and hang out with, and this is pretty much the results of that. My first guest is Professor Ramnus, the fringe analyst, and we're going to learn a little bit about him. I hope you enjoy it. I very much enjoyed talking with him, and if you enjoyed our content, I encourage you to take a look for his information that I'm going to leave in the description down below, and please feel free to follow either of us on Twitch, possibly on Twitter as well. I'll leave all the links necessary for that. And without any further ado, I'm gonna run the intro and get on with the show. Okay, so welcome. I am Onisaurus, and you are?
I'm Professor Ramnus, fringe analyst.
Okay, and I'm gonna be giving you a small interview. I've already sent you a preview of the questions, so you're not going to be surprised by anything unless I decide to pull out something specific for you, because there are some things I found out because I did a little bit of looking, especially when you mentioned what you did. So I'm going to give you the first off-list question here, and that is, how did you start working with Loxton and Noggin? Because I'm sure people are going to be curious about that.
Well, it all really, we're both part of the same Pokemon server. It's called the Fuji's Lab. It's called Fuji's Lab. It's a Discord server created by Birdkeeper Toby. It's pretty much a hub of Pokemon theorists like him, Loxton, Umbreon Libris, a whole bunch of other Poketubers. And just one day, I just sent him a message say, hey, I have this really interesting theory. What do you think? He took really well to it, and enough that he offered me a spot as a freelance writer for his channel. So that's pretty much what happened.
That's really nice. I didn't realize that he was that connected to his community. I was actually kind of surprised because when I entered that Discord, because I noticed that you had that Discord linked to your Twitch page, and when I went in, I saw the name Loxton, and I'm like, wait, is that like someone that's a super fanboy impersonating him?
Yeah,
but that's actually him, isn't it?
Yeah, all the recognizable Poketuber names, those are actually them. Birdkeeper Toby, Hoops and Hip Hop, Umbreon Libris, Loxton and Noggin, they're all the actual people.
Very cool, very cool. I was very surprised about that when I found that Discord. So, very nice place to visit, and apparently quite welcoming considering how they've treated you. So I'm going to go ahead and get on to the questions that I've already prepared. What are your goals with streaming?
Well, my goal right now is to try to accomplish my project, my personal project. I call it Project Herodotus. Basically, I'm making a Pokemon timeline. It's the timeline of all the main series Pokemon games. Similar to how the Legend of Zelda fan base they got their own official timeline. Game Freak never released an official timeline for their game, so I'm just like, you know what, I might as well do it myself. I'm obsessive enough about the details that I feel I can do it.
Wow, I mean, the new release of Arceus is going to throw a bit of a wrench in that, isn't it?
I don't see.
Or is it just going to be an extra hurdle?
I see it more of as a challenge. Like, how would this fit? How would this fill in the gaps of missing knowledge that we might have?
Very cool, very cool. So, what is your favorite game?
My favorite game, well, it's it's Pokemon first and foremost, but I do have other favorite games. I grew up with games like Mortal Kombat. That's definitely one of my favorite fighting games. And yeah, I branch out to other games too. Like back in the day, one of my favorite games growing up was an MMORPG called City of Heroes. It's no longer active because all the servers have been shut down. But it was a really cool superhero MMORPG.
I'm familiar with City of Heroes. I've actually played, I think it's by the same people, Champions Online, but I never got to play City of Heroes in its heyday.
Yeah. It was produced by NCSoft, the Korean publisher.
Interesting. Do you have anyone that streams that you particularly look up to?
Not really. No. I'm still kind of new. I'm still kind of new to streaming. I was introduced really when I started Vtubing in general because I kind of gave myself a choice. It was either a face cam or something else, and that something else I found out was Vtubing, and the easiest way to Vtube was through a PNG, which at the time I had enough money to commission it. That's what you see here.
Yeah, you've got some really nice art there. I do quite like the style there. What's your favorite thing about streaming other than just playing a game offline? Like, what's the difference for you? Why do you prefer a stream over an offline game?
It just gives me a chance to show off how I play. Like, I'm not a particularly competitive Pokemon battler. I don't do any like VGC competitions or anything like that. I'm just a really casual player, and I developed a particular method of going through the games where it's everyone knows. All Pokemon fans kind of know about. Some games are a grind fest, other games are a little less so. I found a way to kind of mitigate the grindiness of some of the games. Although I do gotta say, Let's Go Pikachu is proving to be a bit of a challenge because of the way their mechanics are different from the other previous games.
So, what exactly were some of the differences between Pokemon Go and the older games?
I actually just came off of playing. I came off of playing the first two. Well, not the first two, but I came off of playing the first red version, and then once I did that, I went straight to Fire Red, and now I'm on Let's Go Pikachu. So I'm playing all of the games that are set in the Kanto region, the first region that the games are set in. There's really not much, honestly, going through all the versions of the same game. There's really not much difference, except I do got to say that there's some additional context in Let's Go Pikachu that's very helpful for my purposes as someone trying to make a timeline. But also definitely there is a difference between Let's Go Pikachu and the previous games in that its gameplay is a bit different. If you've played Pokemon Go, they pretty much take Pokemon Go's capture mechanics and just make that the central focus of the game.
So, who's your favorite current YouTube content creator?
My current favorite YouTube content creator. I would be remiss to not mention Loxton and Noggin. I get to work with him, but I do like a lot of his videos. But without counting Loxton, I would have to say JManTV. He's also another PokeTuber. I've been binge watching a lot of his stuff lately. It's been really entertaining.
I think one of my favorite things about JManTV is the fact that he integrates his advertisement into his videos in a very entertaining way, particularly with his character of Grunty Boy.
I always like Grunty Boy. it he's that little side character he made got so popular, got so popular with his fan base that he actually did a Let's Play of him as Grunty Boy playing Let's Go Pikachu as Grunty Boy. So he went through the entire game trying to be Grunty Boy and like, oh hey, yeah, doing the voice the whole time.
If there was someone famous alive right now that you could meet, who would it be and why?
That's a tough question. Because I'm old enough to know the old adage, never meet your the stars or something like that, or never meet the people you look up to, because sometimes the facade.
Right.
Exactly. But I do gotta say that I would definitely want to try to meet people like Berkey Pertobi, and JManTV. They seem like really cool people to hang out with and just chill and play games casually with.
So, if you could travel anywhere, where would it be?
Japan, and half of it is because I'm an old weeaboo, so going through high school between 2006 2010, I was a big Japanophile, so I was all about that. Yeah, I want to go visit Japan. I want to go live
Anywhere in particular you'd like to visit? I'm sure you're pretty well aware that Okinawa is pretty different from most of the rest of Japan.
Yeah, I actually had to do research into Okinawan culture for a potential theory that I was trying to see if I can make it to a video for Loxton. So I definitely got to educate myself on Okinawan culture just a little bit.
Well, considering that you're into it after all, what do you think about Vtubing?
So I think Vtubing is really good. I enjoy the community. There are a lot of very accepting people. I'll be honest, it is a bit overwhelming because I'm not exactly that. I'm kind of like an introvert, so it's like, oh, that's nice. There's so many people who are so friendly, and that I know where to go if I ever want to feel like hanging out with somebody. So yeah, it's a very open community that I've realized, and it's really cool. As far as my favorite VTubers so far, I would have to say it's one of the Hololive members, Garguda. She's very sassy, but also very wholesome. I've kind of grown attached to her, that little shark girl.
So, what's your favorite TV show and why?
I haven't watched normal television in so many years.
Well, if you can't think of a television show, how about Let's Go Anime instead?
The most recent anime that I've seen is what was it? How I Got Reincarnated into a Slime. I really enjoyed that one, and at first it took a lot of convincing from my little brother to get me to watch it, because I was one of those people who were like, oh, it's another isekai anime, and isekai anime is getting so overblown these days. But my little brother said, no, give it a chance, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance. So I gave it a chance, and it actually grew on me. So it's definitely one of my favorite animes that I've been watching.
So, if you were in a movie, what genre would it be, and what character would you be in it?
A rom-com. I definitely like romance. It's romance stories, romance movies. It's something that I kind of rubbed on me from my mom. She was when I was a kid, she was really into romance novels, and so I kind of that rubbed off on me, and so I grew an attachment to rom-coms and other and romance mangas. So I would have to say rom-com for me, and I would be the honestly, I wouldn't be the main. I would not be the main character. I would probably be like the quirky sidekick.
Do you read much? And if so, what's your favorite book?
Well, aside from manga, haven't read any actual books. I read lots of web pages for research, but as far as like novels or books, the last one I read was like 7 years ago. It was one of Dan Brown's novels that kind of followed after the Da Vinci Code. It was never made into a movie, so it was actually one of my favorite books. I still have it somewhere in storage.
And any other books that you've gotten into? Mind talking about them?
I'm very much into. I got a series of books from an author called Patricia Briggs. It's called her Alpha and Omega series. Basically, it's an entire story about werewolves, and I love werewolves. They're my favorite supernatural creatures. So it's I've read all of those novels. I even read some of the side novels to that story.
So, how did you decide to become a content creator?
I just decided to do it. I was just like, you know what? I want to do what these guys do. How do I go about doing it? Oh, I can do it either through YouTube or I can do it through Twitch. And so I definitely tried looking into seeing if I could do through YouTube. But YouTube, as you or some of the audience may know, is a bit iffy when it comes to how they treat their content creators lately. So I've kind of been wary about doing it on YouTube. So instead, I went with the more easier option, which was Twitch, and that's pretty much what leads me here right now.
So, what do you do when you need to relax?
I sleep. I sleep.
You don't have
Yeah, I knock out. I mean, I still play Pokemon games casually. So I guess there's that, but I don't really do it to relax. I just do it to pass the time. But yeah, if I'm looking to relax, I just go to sleep.
Have you ever experienced burnout before?
I believe so. It was before I started being a VTuber. I took a bit of a hiatus off of streaming because this is I think now over a year or two since I actually first started streaming, and I took a pause because I was feeling kind of burned out. I wasn't used to how people doing stream schedules and things like that. So I took some time to kind of just de-stress and do a bit more research into what goes into content creating.
So, who would you say is currently your best friend online?
My best friend online, so far, I would definitely have to say it's a fellow by the name of Afton. He's a tremendous help because he's been honestly, he and I have been friends for a long while. He and I talk a lot on the Fuji's Lab Discord, but we also DM each other. He's currently helping me and doing other projects, but he's also helping me with a Fakemon region project that I've had in the works, where it's a Pokemon region based that's inspired and based on China, both ancient China, because I'm a big fan of kung fu movies, and also modern China, where it's all modern Hong Kong action cinema stuff.
So, how about your real life best friend?
That is a different person, and unfortunately, I haven't seen him in a long while due to life and things.
Has it been because of current events, if you know what I mean?
Well, no. Even before all that, I haven't seen or spoken with him. He and I have been. His name is David. He and I have been friends since I was in middle school and he was in high school. We went to a charter school that kind of middle school and like ninth grade together. It was weird. But he and I have been friends since then, and since then he got married and had a child, and kind of named me kind of like brothers at this point. His son refers to me as uncle. So,
are you single?
Yes, I was in a relationship, but I have made terrible mistakes in that previous relationship. Right now I'm just trying to sort myself out, make sure I have 2 feet firmly on the ground before I try to put myself out there again. Try to work on myself.
How do you feel about spirituality? This doesn't have to be religious or anything like that.
As far as spirituality is concerned, I would definitely say that I am spiritual to a degree, because the way I was raised is that my dad, he definitely made a deal with my grandparents from both sides of my family, that no one was to try to take me to church or do anything like that, or do anything religious. My dad felt really strongly about having me be old enough to make the decision to be a part of a religion or not. So until then, he would still have me learn about things like religion and spiritualities and all that and all of that. So that's kind of how I was raised. Right now, I'm not particularly committed to any one religion or another. I'm just seeking my own path in spirituality. It's a thing that is necessary I think it's a thing that's necessary. It's a necessary part of being a human, that you have that sense of connectivity to not just the world, but also to other people on a level below the surface, if that makes sense.
So, considering that you chose to stream on Twitch over YouTube, I'm kind of wondering, what are your feelings on free speech?
Well, in regards to free speech, I'm a believer that free speech is free speech. It's definitely a contentious topic regarding free speech and hate speech. But me growing up, I grew up in East New York, Brooklyn, New York City. And from what my dad has always told me, that area that I grew up in as a kid has always been one of the roughest neighborhoods of the city. So and my dad has always done his best to protect me from that. But as far as free speech and hate speech, free speech is free speech. It's anyone can say anything. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're free from any consequences. You still got to watch what you say, but you're free to say it. You just got to be smart about what you say. That's kind of how I was raised and how I currently view things.
Personally, I think that context has a lot to do with things, because there's a huge difference in context in how you decide to use words, after all. I mean, for example, there's a gigantic difference between someone using the F word saying, like, F you, buddy, versus, like, oh, F yes, keep that going, F yes, yes, yes. But again, it's all a matter of context.
Yeah, context certainly does matter, but there's also the whole idea of a time and a place. You could be free to say the F word, but saying that it may not be the most appropriate thing to say in an environment where it's like, oh, it's this environment is like super formal. You gotta be presentable. Gotta make sure you gotta speak intelligently, things like that.
Would you say has been your greatest failing as a creator?
Pacing. Pacing. Starting off, yes. I'm a bit better at pacing now. I say that, but my last stream, I still had a bit of an issue with pacing, mostly because I kind of went through what I wanted to do on stream faster than I expected. So then I'm like, oh shoot, what do I do now? I can go ahead and grind, but I typically save grinding for off-stream stuff because a lot of people tune out on the grinding. So I was like, oh shoot.
Now, by contrast, what do you think has been your greatest success?
My greatest success has to be whenever I see whenever I see a new person in my chat who I tell them when I let them know what I'm about, what my goals are. They respond with what I assume is wide-eyed wonder at this thing that I'm undertaking, this project that I'm doing.
Oh, let's talk food. What's your favorite, and maybe do you like cooking?
I do have a favorite food. It is pizza. Not surprising, as I just revealed earlier that I'm a New Yorker. So I do cook. However, I'm not well practiced at it. I can cook if a situation demands it. But in my house, I live with my family. So in my house there are 3 other people that also cook, and so I personally designated myself the 4th string cook. So if my dad can't cook, if my mom can't cook, if my brother can't cook, then I cook.
So, if you ever make it big, what do you plan on doing with all of your newfound influence and power?
Probably just keep on chugging keep on chugging with what I've always been doing. However, what I would want to do is try to see if I become big and with enough influence and power, I would want to see about reaching out to like either Game Freak or the Pokemon Company International, like professionally, and approach them with this idea that I had cooking in my head for years, and that idea is that I personally take a trip around every region of Japan that the Pokemon games are based off of. So, for example, I go and visit the Kanto region, and I visit all the areas in the real life Kanto region that are shown in the Pokemon game. And then on another trip, I go to Kansai, which is Johto. I go to Kyushu, which is Hoenn, and Hokkaido, which is Sinnoh. That's something I would definitely want to try to do if I do make it big enough and get someone's eye and ear over at those 2 companies.
So, if money were no object, what would you buy right now?
Right now, I would buy really just tough question. I thought I had an immediate answer, but no. I guess I would just buy. I would buy myself the services of someone who can help me manage my money properly. So that way I don't go blow everything in a short fashion. I can try to and someone can help me learn, can teach me where to invest in some things, so I can make sure that money is long term.
Last but not least, how did you choose your name?
So every Pokemon professor in the games are named after a tree. So for me, the name Ramnus comes from the. Oh shoot! What was it? Hang on, let me pull it up here real quick. I had it up before, but it's no longer up on my screen. So. Okay, so my name comes from the name Ramnus cathartica, which are buckthorns, European buckthorns or common buckthorns. They're classified as small trees or even bushes, so kind of trees, kind of not really trees. which fits the vibe I was going with. You know, I'm kind of sorta a Pokemon. I'm kind of sorta a Pokemon researcher. Not really. I'm not on the same level as all the other professors in the games. I'm kind of small time. I guess in my lore, in my particular lore, there's always a thing where people try to label me as a conspiracy theorist, but no, I am a fringe analyst. There is a difference. And as far as where that comes from, where the fringe analyst title, that actually comes from from what I hear, I'm not allowed to say this person's name, otherwise, but it comes from a certain radio host's talk show, and
I think I know what year.
Yeah, my dad was listening to one of his shows, and I just happened to be in the car at the time, and he was saying something along the lines of, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a fringe analyst. And honestly, that title, that name kind of stuck with me. It's like that sounds really cool. I really like it.
Someone putting something in the water and making the Greninjas something, right?
Yeah.
And well, it's a little bit of something, but if you know, well, you know. Anyways, this has been a really great interview. I've had a wonderful time with you, and I want to know if there's anything that you'd like to tell your audience. Go ahead.
I guess this is where I can practice doing outros. I'm very terrible at doing outros, especially on stream, because it's just not something I'm used to. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at prof_Ramnus for stream updates and other things that I tweet out. And of course, you can visit my Twitch channel, twitch.tv Professor Ramnus, for Pokemon shenanigans. And I do have a New Year's stream coming up this Friday, where I'm just gonna stream just random stuff that's not Pokemon, just because it's a special occasion.
Very cool. It was a lot of fun having you, and I hope you had fun with it.
Yeah, I did.